should belong to. That is our state as an ancient homeland. If you do, then welcome to the Orthodox world. If you don't, then we should get the heck out of there, because we've displaced a lot of Arabs and we have no right to be there. Just because we died in the Holocaust, who cares? It's not a reason to displace people from their home. Just because we were killed throughout the generations, who cares? But the fact of the matter is, we believe that God gave us the land. And we've been praying for it for 2,000 years in diaspora. We never gave it up. When Herzl wanted to go, when he started it, why did he start it? Because of a trial he saw. The Dreyfus trial. Because of that Dreyfus trial, he said, we have to have a place. So he fought. He said, okay, let's go to Israel. When they weren't going to give him Israel, by the way, Zionism means love of Israel. When they weren't going to give him Israel, he said, let's go to Uganda. People looked at him from all spectrums and said, I didn't die for Uganda. Jump in a lake. I died for Israel. We're going to Israel or bust. Where did they get that? They were socialists. These aren't Orthodox people I'm talking about. Look at the history. They were socialists. Why did they have this concept? Because in reality, they knew the Torah was from God. And they had that. They weren't willing to give up that belief. And they wanted Israel for that reason. Again, if I don't believe the Torah is from God, if I believe it was written by men, then really any of these things are foolishness. Eating kosher is foolishness. Being Jewish is foolishness. And why would I do it? Just for the cultural thing? Show me any other culture. Greeks, Greek Orthodox. We have them coming to the classes. They don't want to go back to Greece. There's no desire to go back to Greece. African Americans. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, check it out. I don't think they want to go back to Africa. Last I checked, President Obama doesn't want to go back. Okay? I'm not picking on Obama, he's a black man. So does he want to go back? Does he pray for that? He doesn't pray for that. He was born in, what's it called? Hawaii. Hawaiian. By the way, I'm a Bostonian. My children don't identify with Bostonians. They like the Boston Red Sox, I think my wife likes them. But okay. But good. But it doesn't work like that. Irish Americans don't want to go back to Ireland. Tell me if they do. I want to see it. But when it comes to Jews, for 2,000 years in diaspora, this present diaspora we're in, we always look, except in this, in the new building, we'll be praying towards Israel. In Mir Tzad we should be Zoycha. Okay? Amen. There. We'll be praying to Israel finally. Right now it's Mecca. Okay. But think about that. All these things that we do, because we really know, we all Jews really know, whether or not one wants to observe it is a different question. It's not the question on the board. We know it, and the interest, of course we do. We're all, and that's what the rabbi was saying to me, that it's true, you have conservative, you have reform, you have reconstructionists, you have Orthodox rabbis. We all know the philosophy we wanted to push out there. But the congregants don't. When I was growing up, we would ask halachic questions to our conservative rabbi. By the way, he really is a conservative rabbi, I find out later on. But he was very religious. What made him religious? He kept Shabbos. He wouldn't drive. He used to walk to shul. Very nice, just like Rabbi Friedland. Okay, he used to walk. I think he still walks. But it's not Friedland. I'm talking about the rabbi from my hometown. Okay, but that was, we used to ask him questions. And I remember I wanted to ask a question on Shabbos. And my father and I were having an argument. And so one of the many arguments we would have about Jewish law. And I wasn't religious. But we were arguing, and I said to him, this is what it is. He said, no, you're wrong. You call the rabbi up, he'll tell you. I picked up the telephone. I said, what, are you crazy? It's Shabbos. You won't pick it up. I said, why? We pick it up. What's the difference? If I call him, it's an emergency mistama. He says, no, you can't do it. You have to wait till after Shabbos. One thing we understood in the conservative world was the rabbi had to be religious. So much so that my aunt was a strong member of the conservative movement, and which means she joined. Okay? And what happened was, We had in Boston, we have what's called Papagino's, which is Papagino's here, or one of the pizza places here, okay? She told me, she was very upset. She said, I couldn't believe it. My rabbi was in Papagino's eating pizza. I said, I can't believe it. How is that possible? By the way, I didn't really want to believe it either because even I knew that they could eat cheese out. I was hoping they really wouldn't have done it. But I said, no, I don't believe it. How do you know that? Did you see it? She said, yes, I watched him. I said, whoa, I have to ask you a question. Auntie, we say auntie in Boston. Auntie, where were you when you saw him? I was there. You were in Papagino's? You were sitting at Papagino's? Yes. Oh, what were you doing? Having a cup of coffee? No, idiot. I was having a pizza. Let me get this straight. You were in Papagino's. You were eating the pizza. And the rabbi, I saw him eating it. I said, why should the rabbi be any different than the congregant? Because he's a rabbi. That was it. The rabbi is the rabbi. The rabbi has to be observant to Jewish law. The rabbi has to do everything. I pay him to be observant. I don't have to do it. He does it for me. That is the thought process. Most amazing thing in the world. He's laughing, you're saying, no way, no way. That is the world. Okay? We all know it to be true. And it's the most amazing thing they all ever imagined. In the Reform world, it also comes somewhat like that. But we don't expect it to be kosher because that wasn't one of the things. But if a rabbi does anything wrong, doesn't come to services on time, oh God, it's the late Rabbi blah blah. You know, you don't want that. You have to really put on the show, as it were. You have to wear the mantle of religion when you become the rabbi, because that's not what the congregant is. That's how congregants believe. And that's that's, by the way, what made this division in the places. Okay. So now, I want to say one thing, and I want to finish this up. Okay. Like I said, I don't think that any movement is going to die. I think that's foolishness. I think that he's doing it. Every other group out there did. Jewish people have been dying since we were born. Okay. God said, like I said before, God said that we will be here forever. As long as the world exists, we're here. We're His chosen people. That's the end of it. So I'm not worried about the Pew study or this study or that study. We're always going to be here. What we have to learn, though, and the Orthodox, I again made this mistake, but we have to learn is we better be better listeners. Okay? Really, that's the problem. We don't listen to people. Because when people come to us with a halakhic question, a question of Jewish law, we act like good men, and we answer the question because we like to fix things. Okay? But we don't listen to we don't understand the question. Example, this rabbi didn't understood the question, okay? It says, a woman once approached Rabbi Soloveitchik of Brisk with a strange question. She wanted to know whether someone could use milk instead of wine for the 4 cups of Seder, simply because she couldn't afford the wine. Simple thing. Rabbi, can you imagine, it comes to you, Tammy, since you're the big star of the day, comes to you and says, Rabbi Tammy, I can't afford wine. All I have is enough money for milk, and I want to do 4 cups for the Seder. So Rabbi, please, Rabbi, tell me what to do. Can I use the milk or can't I? What would you say, Maury?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Why?
Because if she doesn't use it, she might not have a Seder at all.
Okay, so you give her the money for the milk, right?
Do I give her the money for the milk?
Yeah, you have to give her money. Oh, okay. That's a man. Okay. Okay, so now, what did the rabbi say? The rabbi responded by giving her an especially large amount of money. Wait a second. One of the students asked him, Rabbi, I understand you gave her money because she can't afford the wine, but why so much? It doesn't cost that much. You're not buying a Baron de Herzog great wine. Wait. Shh. So do I. Let me just finish. So the rabbi explained, if she wants to drink milk at the Seder, it's obvious she has no meat for Pesach. So therefore, I gave her enough money to buy both wine and meat for the holiday. He heard what she was really asking. That's what the rabbis have to do. And if they would have done that originally in the 1700s and all the way through, we may have it very difficult today. And if the conservative rabbis and the reform rabbis and the Orthodox rabbis and the reconstructionist rabbis really listen to what is being asked, not the simple words, because that's never really what's being asked. There's something behind that question. If you go behind that question, you really understand what's going on, you will be able to satisfy the person listening, even if you don't back down. I don't have to back down. I don't have to change one iota of Jewish law. I have to hear you. We have a prayer that we say every single day. We praise Hashem for shomea tefillah, for listening to the prayer. It doesn't say answering the prayer. And I forget who it was, if any of the rabbis were here, they would tell me there was somebody at the Federation. I was at a Federation meeting, and it was a congregant who actually said that. A laity said, I love that prayer, because it only says God listens. That's the biggest thing we have to do. We have to listen to what's being asked. And then try to figure out what's behind the question. If we can do that, we can understand that, then we can help the person go along with it. And then we can grow. Because then people are going to want to come and hear our advice. Again, we can't tell you what to do. This is America. You make those decisions. This is America. We're independent thinkers. Conservative, Orthodox, Reconstructionists, and Reform have tried to make us independent thinkers. Think about it. Reform have informed choice, where they tell you, this is the law, let's go through it, and you have to make a choice. Do I want it? Don't I want it? They put it in your courtyard. Like I said, Reconstructionists, chaburot. They get people learning together. Conservative religious committees. Okay, where again, they give it to the populace, and they say, let's understand what's going on. And the Orthodox, even though we have the rabbi elder we're going to go to and say, okay, we've gone through the studies, figured it out. You know who did it the first time? Rambam. He says in his introduction, my mom says in introduction to his code of Jewish law, he says, since you're not going to go through the whole book and through all the commentaries, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to rule in every case. Take the Torah, take my books, and you'll be a good Jew. He wasn't saying don't study, by the way, like people want to say, but he was saying simply that's how you do it. If you want to know how to be a Jew, read my book. You want to learn about it, open the other books. But you have to do both. And so all these movements have been saying that, always trying to keep the people in Judaism, not keeping it in line, not maintain our power, but rather keep everybody in the fold. That's really why, again, Gordis is wrong. Pew is wrong. We're here. Actually, I don't know why everybody's here. But we're here to learn how to stay Jewish. That's it. We're here to enjoy our Jewishness. Not because we were killed in the Holocaust. Not because we don't marry Jews to not give Hitler a posthumous victory, which is what I was taught growing up. Don't give him a posthumous victory. What kind of fool? That's why I should marry a Jew? No. That's why I should bring my kids up Jewish? God, he has so much power over me? That's pretty sick. But I do it because Hashem told me to. And again, everybody who does it, everybody circumcised as a kid, everybody who worries about Israel, everybody who, when a Jewish person does something, goes, oh my God, you're an Orthodox Jew. Welcome to the fold. Okay? That's how we are. No Irish guy, when Trayvon Martin, whatever, what's his name? Martin. Trayvon Martin was killed. Trayvon Martin was killed. When he was killed, all of the people, George Zimmerman's, he was really Puerto Rican, I think he was. So he wasn't a white guy. But even if he would be white, by the way, as they want to say, all the white people didn't say, oh my God, one of us did that. Think about that. It's only the Jews who have this collective guilt that once a Jew does something, we say, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Bernie Madoff, this guy, that. Leave me alone. We don't care what he did. No, but because we're all connected. And why are we connected? Because the Torah tells us so. Again, we're all crazy enough. regardless of which shul we belong to, regardless of how much Jewish law we observe, we're Orthodox in thought. Again, in thought. And that's why, by the way, if you read the Gordis article, he says, it's a very strange thing. He says originally the conservative rabbis could hold people because they could give an elevated Jewish law. If you know why they could, by the way, as compared to now, now the rabbis are getting angry at me, but originally in the 1950s, all the rabbis from the conservative world, actually most of them, I shouldn't say all, were products of the Orthodox world. And why did they go to the conservative shuls? Because they thought Orthodoxy was dead. So they went to conservative shuls trying to bring those people in, which is why you heard about Bishop Baruch, which is why I was taught Torah from God, which is why I was taught everything, because my rabbi was growing up in an Orthodox home. Today I don't know what they teach. I'm no longer part of the conservative movement. I leave that to them. But you also do see a walking out. One is because, he says, because there's not enough meat and potatoes. Again, I'm not sure that's true. I think it's more we just don't listen to anybody anymore. And we think that we're doing a good job, and we just answer the question that there is instead of hearing what the question really is. And I'll end off with this very quick story to illustrate the point even more, but not with the rabbis, but with my father and mother. I always like telling this story. My mother had said to me, she went out with her friends, and my mother had no concept of time, God bless her soul. She had absolutely no concept of time. She said to me, I'll be back in a half hour. And she didn't run, by the way, she didn't drive. She was always driven around. So her friend was with her, and my father came home, and he said, where's your mother? And I said, oh, Ma went out with Baba, and she said she'll be home in a half hour. And he said, when did she leave? I said, it's 2 hours ago. So he looked, 2 hours, so she should be home right now. Normally it's for her time to be home. A half hour means 2.5 hours. So he was looking at saying, where is she? He was worried. I never saw my father do this. He was worried, sitting, as you would say. And yet she was worrying about my mother. Finally, my mother, her driver pulled her up, and she's sitting outside talking another 15, 20 minutes. So the person she's been with for about 3 hours. If that's how my mother was, okay? And my father's sitting like this. My mother walks in the house. Now, what would you say? What would you say? Where have you been, right? What would you say? Yeah. What would you say?
As the father or the mother?
What do you think my father said?
As a husband, I don't know.
No, I want a woman. Go ahead. You would say, I was worried, right? I was worried about you. Okay, no, I'm not talking about worried. So what happened was my father looked at her like this, and he said, where's my coffee? My mother said, you don't know how to make it yourself, make it yourself. And she walked by him. And I was thinking, Dad, just say, I was worried about you. My mother didn't hear it. My father couldn't say it for whatever crazy reason he had. But that's how we communicate in the rabbinic world. You come to me. You ask me a question. I'm Mr. Fix-It Man. I say, this is a halacha. And you think, he didn't listen to me. Why'd I go to him? They never hear what we want. The rabbis never hear what we want. We don't want to drive on Shabbos. We don't want to be told to drive on Shabbos. We don't want to be told we can't eat kosher. We can't. We don't want that. We want somebody that listens to us. And if we would just do that, Rabbi, it'd be so much more effective. Thank you. That's where I want to stop. Are there any questions? No? Great. Dessert is served. Thank you.